fighting itself has just become more sophisticated. Today we see dog fighters setting up contracts online. They're pretty bold about the kinds of adjectives that they'll use in describing the dog. Athletic, the way we like them. All of those are very thinly veiled attempts to let potential buyers know that these dogs are intended as something more than a family pet. Fighting dogs are kept at the end of a chain, which is attached to a car axle stuck in the ground. And the dog spends most of its life walking around with the chain wearing down all the vegetation there. So very easy to spot from the air. The fights that they're involved with involve other nationally known figures. They're typically involved in high stakes, tens of thousands at the low end, hundreds of thousands into the high end. It's funny because when you go on a raid in one of these things, the dogs that you encounter on these fighting yards are wagging their tails and they're bouncing up and down and 3 feet off the ground with 30, 40 pounds of chain. And they're all excited to see you, and for the most part, they're not going to bite any of the police officers. I've never seen that happen. Well, I think the dogs are really just happy for the attention. Because if you look at the dog's whole life, he's got his 3-inch collar and his 40 pounds of logging chain, and that, for the most part, is how that dog is going to spend the rest of his life. It's not a life. It's not the kind of a life that you would wish on anybody. Do we make heroic efforts for an individual fighting dog who's had a terrible life up to that point? We want to be able to say, we saved these dogs and we're going to turn them around, and that's human nature. You can't do it. It's just not a happy ending. This is a situation where nobody can guarantee that one of those dogs will never come back and bite somebody. And if they do, every agency associated with that event is going to be sued. We live in that kind of society. The kindest thing that we have to do in these situations is put them down and condemn the person that caused this. Make sure they're serving a real bit of prison time. That's the only way we're going to stop this stuff from happening.
Do they bite? Yes. Do they show aggression to people and other dogs? Yes. Have they maimed and killed other people? Yes. But so have many other dogs. Dogs that have been created to do that specific thing.
Animal aggression and people aggression are two different things, and they generally don't mesh together. You usually have one or the other, particularly in this breed. And it's generally geared towards other animals. But if a pit bull dog brings aggression, it's fast, it's quick, it's violent, it's all of those things. Is it controllable? Absolutely. But the training, the control that you instill in that is your brakes. Unfortunately, a lot of the pit bulls out there today, they're really fast cars. They're big SUVs, but they have no brakes at all. They have a lot of go and a lot of power. And they can go over anything. They can mow it down. But they just don't have the brakes.
Obviously, pit bulls have been an issue in this community and in most communities throughout this country. I don't want to vilify these animals. I'm not saying the breed is vicious and dangerous by nature or by genetics, but we all do agree that they have the physiological strength, if they are aggressive, that they can cause serious injuries and death. Put yourself in my shoes. We had a 12-year-old boy being killed. 60 to 65% of the dogs in my facility are pits or pit mixes. Almost 70% of the vicious and dangerous dogs are pit bulls. Of all the dogs in the city and county of San Francisco, pit bulls and pit bull mixes are the only adoptable dogs still being euthanized. I have people who are saying you ban this breed from your town and nothing but killers. The other side saying it's not the dog's fault, it's the owner's fault. What am I to do except say, yes, right now I have a problem with pit bulls. Yes, I'm saying pit bulls, and I'm sorry that that might hurt the breed in any way. I have too many pit bulls. They're being bred by irresponsible owners to be aggressive. We want to stop the breeding of these animals. If you own a pit bull in the city and county of San Francisco, then it must be spayed or neutered. We're just overloaded with the breed.
The statistics of dog attacks reflect the popularity of the breed at the time. And right now, it is of crisis proportion, how many pit bulls we have. People don't realize that Chihuahuas bite more people than any other breed. The top three are Dachshunds, Chihuahuas, and Cocker Spaniels. Pit bulls account for a very, very small number of serious attacks over the country. And If you look behind the facts, most of the injuries that people have suffered from pit bulls are from breaking up a fight between a pit bull and another dog.
The Dobie was the bad dog in the 60s. Right. The German Shepherd was the bad dog in the 70s. Rotties was the bad dog in the 80s. And pit bulls became the bad dog in the 90s. What made it different? You got idiots who don't know jack about these dogs, got them in their hand and saying, I'm a breeder, I'm this and I'm that, and they ain't nothing. That's right.
The primary reason that pit bulls are getting a bad name is because of breeders. 5 years ago, there may have been 100 pit bull breeders in California. Currently, at this time, probably 10,000. There's no sanctioning authorities on dog breeders. So anybody could just buy 2 dogs and subsequently start breeding. It ultimately leads to all of the problems that we have. If we don't take responsibility for the breeding of the animals and somehow curb just the vast numbers of dogs that are being put out on the street, the breed will be banned and ultimately taken out of society. What I would like to see is a qualification for a breeder that can say that this person has understanding of vet medicine, breeding, nutrition, behaviors, and they've taken a course, they've passed it, and now this person is a professional, just like you could say someone is a professional in another area.
These are good babies.
I've been breeding for 25 years at this point. This is solely what I do. I'm a breeder of the American Pit Bull Terrier. Now, do I recommend that just anybody off the street has a pit bull? No, I don't. Do I believe that pit bulls are vicious animals? I do not believe pit bulls are vicious. I think they have a capability because of their makeup to do damage when in the wrong hands.
They'll do just about anything you want them to do. And so if you put that in the wrong hands, then we have a problem. People need to step up and just do things right, especially if you're going to have this type of dog.
The breeds are wonderful. That's why they're here. So many people are attracted to them for one reason or another. They're some of the most intelligent, responsible people that have these breeds. Will stand up and say, that's not my dog they're talking about. Why should my dog be destroyed?
I hate hearing someone's down this breed of dog. Your pit bull is one of the most loyal dogs out there, family dogs out there that you can find. But then at the same time, any dog can pretty much be that way as long as you socialize it the right way. It's my boy Adam Baum right here. AB.